Today is June 9th, 2018. My name is Joe Todd. This is an interview with Walter Pettiford in Bartlesville, Oklahoma. Sir, where were you born?
1942.
Where?
April.
April.
Uh-huh.
What day?
April.
April
April the 17th.
17th. And where were you born?
Lewisburg, North Carolina.
Lewisburg, North Carolina.
Yeah.
Okay. Who is your father?
Walter Pettiford,
Walter Pettiford.
Senior.
Yeah. And your mother?
Ada May.
Ada May.
Yeah.
What was her maiden name?
Ada Hinton.
Hinton. Okay. Did you go through school in Lewisburg?
Huh?
Did you go through school in Lewisburg?
Yeah.
You graduated what year?
1960.
1960. In school, who was your favorite teacher?
I guess be Miss Navy White.
Why was she your favorite?
Because she was sort of like a mother to kids. I mean, she made sure you got your lesson.
Mm-hmm.
And if you mess up, she would, back in those days, she would have got for child abuse. It had been now.
Yes.
But,
Well, okay. Go ahead.
but she was a bright lady.
Yeah. What kind of work did your father do?
He's a cook.
Cook?
Yeah. Cook barbecue.
Yeah. Did you help your father
Sometimes.
sometimes?
Yeah. And he worked in the log woods also,
Yeah.
cutting timber.
Now, did you live in the town or do you live outside of town?
It's on the right on the outskirts of town.
Outskirts?
Okay.
Okay.
Downtown.
When you were young, what chores did you do around the house?
You know, I had to feed hogs, feed pigs, cattle.
How large was the farm you lived on?
There wasn't no farm. He just had all that.
Oh, he did. Okay.
Back in those days, you could have it in the city limit.
Yeah, okay, okay. What was your favorite chore?
I guess taking care of the cattle, I guess. Making sure, you know, that they got fed, because you had to take them out and take them across the highway back in those days and let them eat down there.
What was your least favorite chore?
Feeding the hog.
Feeding hogs.
They get slopped on you in that mud.
Yeah.
And on Sunday, that was the thing. You got to feed the hogs. Your mama called you, come on, time to go to church, and they get up there and throw some mud on you, and you have to change clothes again.
Yeah. When was butchering time?
Okay, in the fall of the year. Back in those days, they would salt the meat down after they kill a hog.
Yeah.
They put it in salt and dry it, and then you have meat year round.
Yeah, okay.
And you hope you had a good winter right after you kill it. Kill it down.
What'd you do after high school?
I work with a plastering contractor.
Oh, what?
Plastering contractor,
Okay.
plaster the
Oh,
wall.
plaster, okay.
Yeah.
And which, was it a company you worked for?
Yeah, it was a man owned it.
What was his name?
I think his name was Art Sailor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Art Safer.
Yeah, he was out of Cary, North Carolina, right outside of Raleigh.
Okay. So when were you drafted?
December 1965.
1965.
Yeah.
Where did you go for your basic training?
Fort Benning.
Fort Benning. Tell me about basic.
It was kind of, I would say hard. Most thing was the discipline part. And it's the discipline, and I hadn't been used to being disciplined, and it was kind of tough, but it was a good reason when I went to basic, because it helped me when I went to airborne training. It disciplined me.
What type of training did you have in basic?
Artillery.
Artillery?
Yeah.
Okay. And basic lasted how long?
It was 8 weeks.
Okay. Tell me about your drill instructors.
He was tough. He was tough, but he was good. He'd been in the army a long time. He's a sergeant, first class.
You recall his name?
I think his name Mason.
Mason.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he didn't play. Yeah.
So after basic, where'd you go?
I went to airborne training because it said that if you wanted to get close to home, and if you go airborne, you only could go 2 places at that time. That was the 82nd or the 101st. So I wanted to get to Fort Bragg. And so I went and finished my airborne training, and just knowing that I was going to go to Fort Bragg probably, they sent me to the 11th Air Assault.
Now tell me about your airborne training.
It was real strict. It was a lot of treating you, like you got prisoner of war type thing over in it. And it was good.
Now, had you flown before?
Flown?
Yeah.
No. My daddy told me I was crazy jumping out of a good airplane. He thought his son had more sense than that.
Tell me about that first jump.
It was amazing, you get in there and you can't, once you hook up, you're going. And they have a great big old sergeant back there, he called a jump master, and he pushes that thing, and out the door you went.
How high were you, do you know?
I think it was 600 and some feet.
You
It had
land
to be that high.
You land okay?
Yeah.
Okay. How many jumps did you make in airborne training?
We had, I think it was 5.
5.
Yeah. Before you got your wing.
What's your most vivid memory of airborne training?
It told me that you had to be different, you had to be in shape if you were going to be a paratrooper. And they encouraged you to go to Rangers school, something like the, what you call it, the alerts, long range patrol.
Yeah, long range patrol.
Yeah, and a lot of guys went through the training with us. They was these what you call them? Those guys that you hear about all the time is rescuing folks now.
The SEALs?
Yeah, Navy SEALs.
Yeah.
A lot of Navy SEAls went through that kind of training. And most officers, you would see field grade officers, they would go through airborne training.
Now, how far is Fort Bragg from Lewisburg?
About 120 miles.
You able to get home?
Yeah, I got home once I got stationed there. When I came back from my first tour of Vietnam, I went back to and got my 82nd, what I always wanted to do.
Now, after airborne school, where'd you go?
After airborne school, I went to the first level air assault.
Where was that located?
That was in Columbus, Georgia.
Columbus, Georgia.
Yeah.
What'd you do there with the 11th Air Assault?
They was a unit that could be moved quickly, especially 105 artillery. They would just hook it to those big old helicopters and take it off. And you had to be airborne qualified to do that.
Yeah.
You go through that, but they show you how to be an airborne training. They taught us how to repel from the helicopter. So I guess that's why they wanted us there. And at that time, they were getting ready to go. They needed a lot of that kind of troops in Vietnam.
Okay. What helicopters did you have?
We had them big Hueys.
The Hueys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the double wing.
Mm-hmm.
We had a bunch of them.
Mm-hmm.
And we had those Blackhawks too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now the
Yeah,
double
for
rotor.
air support.
The double rotors. That's a Chinook.
Yes, you know.
Yeah, Chinook and the Hueys.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, when did you first go to Vietnam?
I went there. I went with the cab when
Okay.
they left for Columbia. They went on. See, when I got out of basic training and went there, I thought it was something. When time I got there, they told me that I wanted 30-day leave. I said, yeah. You know, everybody. And when I went home, and 30 days I come back, they were packing up containers and stuff. I said, what's going on here? They said, you shouldn't go to Nam, man. I said, where? They said, we're going to Nam. And 30 days, we were gone.
What did you think about going to Vietnam? What did you think about going to Vietnam?
Well, I had my reserve because people got killed over there.
Yeah.
And I know it was dangerous.
How did you travel to Vietnam?
We went by ship.
You left the state from what port? You left the state from what port, you recall?
Down in Savannah.
Savannah?
Yeah.
You recall the ship you're on?
I don't know what the name was.
Okay.
It's just a troop carriage, yeah.
So tell me about the trip to Vietnam.
Well, we got there, and we were stationed in An Cape.
Now tell me about on the trip. What did you do? How did you pass the time on the trip to Vietnam?
I just walk around, go out there and look. Everybody be excited. It's, those flying fish, they call them.
Yeah.
Then somebody see that or a whale or something, everybody.
Yeah.
It was long. It was a long trip, 30 days. And
30?
we got there, and
Well, where were your quarters on the ship?
Where
were your quarters on the ship?
it was down in the hub.
What, bunk stacked up?
Yeah.
How about the food?
Food was good,
Okay.
but I got sick about second day out. And that's something I don't like to do. Then all I eat was raw vegetables and stuff.
Oh, you get seasick?
Yeah, I got seasick. I never will forget it. I said, my wife said, then asked you wanted to go on the cruise. I said, you know the cruise can happen on the cruise, you can get seasick.
So what'd you do in Vietnam?
I was on the 105 howitzer.
Okay, where'd you land?
We landed down at An Cape,
Okay.
and we set up base camp there, and we would go out on different. They would call us out on different things. That's how I got exposed to Agent Orange.
Yeah.
Sometimes you go in those areas where they spray for the kill the foliage, because we're going to camp there for a short time. And the trees, it smell like trees is being burnt, like you put a green tree leaves in them in the oven or stove. That's how it smells. But the coconuts would just fall off the tree. And we didn't know at the time, man, we were cutting them things over and drinking the juice out of them coconuts, eating those coconuts. And I think that's how I got that cancer.
Yeah.
But,
Now, An Khê is located where in Vietnam?
it's in the Central Highlands.
Central Highlands.
Yeah.
Now, on artillery, how did you take the artillery out?
By helicopter.
Helicopter.
Yeah.
And you're on 105s?
Yeah.
How many in the crew of the 105?
7.
7.
Yeah.
What was your job?
Well, at first I was just a regular, handle the ammo, put in the house, and you had to train on all the positions on the gun because somebody might get hurt or killed. And I went, before I left Vietnam, I was a gun chief. I'm 85. And
I'm sorry, you were.
I made Sergeant E5.
Oh, Sergeant E5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was called a gun chief.
Yeah.
And I left Vietnam.
We at the Ia Drang Valley.
Yeah.
What happened there?
A lot of folks got killed. It was really bad.
Did you have your artillery there in the Ia Drang?
Yeah. It was almost like Quezon. And I was looking at that Quezon the other day, and it was the same way. And we was amazed that we killed a lot of Red Chinese. We killed more Red Chinese than we went at the NBA or Kong. And we went down to right down the Laos and border. You know what that killing field was?
Yeah,
we
the
went
Laos.
through.
Yeah.
We was stationed there, and man, there was people's bones out there everywhere. Where they killed some people down there in Laos. But see, we went through there. The Viet Cong was coming down from the north, coming through Laos to get into South Vietnam. So they were ducking all the firepower we had up north.
Yeah.
And when I went back from the second trip, at the Big Red One, I was at Plum Tree. That was laid up by the GMZ.
How long were you in Vietnam the first time?
1 year.
1 year.
Yeah.
At was your base camp at On Cay?
Yeah.
What kind of quarters did you have at On Cay?
Well, they just built a regular, what they call howitzer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now Hong Kong Mountain.
Yeah, that was right up from where we were. Our base camp.
They had that big calf patch on Hong Kong Mountain?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we found out later that some of that mortar that we got was from the Kong. They had dug a tunnel up there. And they would come out at night and find mortars and stuff down on the rest of the encampment. But they was good at digging tunnels.
When you what's your most vivid memory of being with the first Cav in Vietnam?
My vivid memory. Well, when I woke up one morning and they gave me that one of those thing there with the Cav on it to show up my uniform, I said, I'm in a real unit now. Yeah. It was something. There was a lot of good men killed over there.
Yeah. What's your worst memory of Vietnam with the first Cav?
Killing the man. I got his hat now. It's something to think about.
Yeah. So when you left Vietnam, how'd you come back home?
We flew back on C-141.
Okay.
Yeah.
And where'd you land when you came back?
Fort Bragg.
Fort Bragg.
Yeah, at Fort Bragg, Fort Bragg.
Yeah. What'd you do when you landed in the United States? What's the first thing you did?
I kissed the ground. I heard about people doing that. I can see why they kiss the ground.
So how long you in the States then?
Well, I was there in the States about a year and a half.
Okay.
And I got ordered to go to Germany.
Now what'd you do in the States for a year and a half?
I was a paratrooper. I was just stationed at Bragg, and we was almost a strike unit.
Okay.
You know, we could be called up anytime. And one brigade stayed on alert at the 82nd.
What unit? Oh, I didn't ask. What unit were you with in the first Cav?
319th Field Artillery.
319th Field Artillery.
Yeah.
Okay. And in the 82nd, what unit were you with?
I was in the 318th Artillery.
318th Artillery.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you go on maneuvers when you were back in the States?
Yeah, we had training all the time.
Okay.
And they used the setting when we while we was on the road.
And then you got orders for Germany.
Yeah,
When did you go to Germany?
in 1968.
1968.
I probably was in Germany about 6 months before Dr. Martin Luther King got killed.
Yeah.
That was something.
Where in Germany were you?
In Ansbach.
Ansbach?
Yeah.
And you were there about 6 months before Dr. King was killed?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a bad day.
Yeah.
Yeah. What'd you do in Germany?
I was on a missile outfit. Honest John, what they call it.
Honest John.
Yeah. It was, I was on the NRAS team. Because we would go through the training, and anytime the president would call out fire missile, so I had to authenticate it with because of the NRAS team.
And it was called what?
NRAS team.
Inrest?
Yeah, NRAS.
Yeah.
When I was in Germany, I couldn't go to the Berlin Wall
Why not?
because I had too much knowledge.
Okay.
Again, they didn't want me to get chaps.
Did you get to Berlin?
Now, I saw pictures of it
Yeah.
because we couldn't go there.
Yeah. In Germany, what was the reaction of the local people to the American soldiers in Germany?
I would say they're real good. Yeah, they had good food over there too. I can get the rotisserie cooked chicken. Boy, they good at that. And I see it here. Nobody had like they have it out there at Walmart.
Yeah.
It don't taste like that German rotisserie chicken.
Yes.
But they had some. It's good food all around. And beer, I drink beer.
Oh, yeah.
They had good beer. And once a year they had beer fest, and that's when they got rid of all the old beer.
Yeah, Oktoberfest.
Yeah.
Yeah. You go to Oktoberfest?
Oh yeah, I didn't miss that.
You go to Munich?
Huh?
Did you
Yeah,
go
Munich wasn't far from where I was, because I left Ansbach, and then I went down to it's right outside of Munich, we were based, and that's where I got orders to go back to Vietnam.
What did you think when you got orders for Vietnam?
The second time,
Yeah.
I said, well, I didn't know why I would have to go back that soon. And come to find out it was my MOS. Because I was on gun.
You still on 105s?
Were
you still on 105s?
No, I was on 8-inch howitzers.
8-inch howitzer.
And they sent me because when I went back to Nam, I was on the 8-inch self-propelled.
So you left Germany, you went straight to Vietnam?
Yeah.
How'd you travel to Vietnam the second time?
Same way, I flew.
You flew?
Yeah.
Okay. And you landed where?
We landed, I think it was down right close to Saigon.
Cam Bay?
Yeah, I guess that's where it was.
Yeah.
And then they trucked us up there to Quang Tree.
What'd you do at Quang Tree?
I was in, I was on the gun for about 6 months. And we done so much firing and stuff. My hearing got too bad to be on the gun. So they put me out. I was ship stuff back to the States. The guy.
Now, how much had Vietnam changed from the first time you were there to the second time you were there?
It was more deadly, I think, because they had what they called tech. And there was a lot of people killed at tech.
Were you there for Tet?
Yeah.
Now, when did you land in Vietnam the second time?
It was, let's see, 68. I think it was around October 68.
Okay.
I came back, I think, October 69.
Okay.
Came back to the 82nd again.
Now, were you in the 82nd in Vietnam?
Yeah.
Okay.
When I was in Vietnam?
Yeah.
No, when I came back. See, when I was in 82nd, it was always at Fort Sill.
Okay.
Because most of the guys like me that was airborne qualified, they was shipped off to other places if they was needed.
Yeah.
And that's how when I got my orders to come back to go into Vietnam again, they were short of gun chiefs. But that 8-inch howitzer is a bad gun to be on in Vietnam because it doesn't move much, but they do a lot of firing.
Yeah.
And when it's wet and raining, that powder, that gunpowder, it's terrible on you.
Yeah. What unit were you with in Vietnam the second time?
Big Red One.
Big Red 1. Okay.
Yeah.
What are the monsoons?
Yeah. And the wet monsoon?
Yeah.
Yeah, it rains a lot. It rains all day, all night, all day, all night.
How do you stay dry?
We had little tents. You learn how to get out of the water. But you just get used to it. You know, just like it was there, I guess, you know. You just there and you got all your equipment, you got the stuff to keep on, your poncho to keep from that, you get used to it. I heard a lot of guys, you know, get back say they be complaining about stuff. I said, man, you ought to go to Nam, go out in combat. You see, you living good now. But the killing was something. On both trips over there, a lot of killing. You see saw a guy was standing beside the road and he had lost all his stand here. And he was standing there smoking a cigarette. And I asked the guy, I said, what's wrong with him? Why don't they take him to the medic? They said, he's going to die anyway. Because he said he's just in shock. You know, all this stomach just hanging out. So, yes. We got overran one night by the NVA. And there was 7 guys in our outfit that got killed.
Was that a Quang Tree?
Not when I was stationed at Quang Tree,
Yeah.
But we was out on the field mission. And it was Chinese everywhere.
Were you there when it was overrun?
Yeah.
What'd you do?
I was down behind a big log and shooting it. I don't know how many men I killed that night. There's so many of them. Everybody was, you know, it happened about an hour, it was over.
Yeah. What
We went
rifle?
out there the next morning and we gathered up our shoots and they just piled them up in a pile. And man, that's the order you never forget. If somebody dies, you know, that vomit, that come up, that smell, you never forget it. I went up to a guy's house here that died. And by the time I walked in, I knew he had been dead a while. And I could feel that nail when I first went hit the door. Yeah,
So you left Vietnam. How long were you in Vietnam the second time?
a year.
A year.
Yeah.
Okay.
You done year tours.
Yeah.
Not unless you got extended because nobody to replace it.
And you came back to the States, and you were based where?
I basically 82nd Airborne.
82nd Airborne at Fort Bragg.
Yeah,
Okay.
and that's why I got out of there.
Okay. When did you get your discharge?
In 72, January 72.
What's your most vivid memory of your Army career?
I went to a lot of places and met a lot of people and learned other cultures. That's when I was in Germany. And, their culture is different from ours. I mean, from our from like normal here in the States. They do things different. They have a lot of festivals. You go to them and start being a staff sergeant. You you really get to meet a lot of people.
In Vietnam, how could you tell the VC from the local farmers?
No, you couldn't. And guy could see that was the bad thing about Vietnam. Viet Cong could come to the stick the gun out the door there and shoot at you. And if he ran out to the back, you better not shoot him. If you shoot him, you go to jail.
Why?
Because they say he's not a threat if he ain't got no gun. Yeah. That was one of the big things, bad things that was alright. Remember that incident by Captain Kelly, I think it was?
Yeah, My Lai.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think about that a lot. You know, maybe he was right for doing what he done. Because it happened. And GI done a lot of stuff too. There was a lot of them that done things. I was with a second lieutenant. We went out on a long range patrol, and he was one of these West Pointers, and ran up on the car, and he made him take the car and take his pants off, and just kept his belt. And you know, the little rolls of toilet paper that you have in your ration, he takes it and he wrote on there, AAS is out, and shot him, killed him dead. Yeah. That was, you know, it was just like, it was different than somebody was trying to harm you, but he killed him. And got him medal for it too. Yeah. But a lot of things that haven't been going to be reported, I wouldn't get in it because I said I ain't in it.
Yep.
And all the court proceedings and they got away with it, a lot of it. And the Kong done some dirty stuff too. Yeah. But that's war.
Did you get to Saigon?
I did the only time I went there, we flew down there to pick up some supplies one time. I had a detail.
Okay.
Saigon, that was a big base there. And the guys down there were living their life around it. Yeah, they were. And sometimes, you know, you wonder why. And I looked at things on TV and they were showing how that when the Kong come on and took over Saigon, it was something. Took over that air base and all that.
What did you think when Vietnam fell?
It was our fault. If they had listened to Westmoreland, it would have been a whole lot different story. You know, they took him out from being over. See, Westmoreland was an airborne trooper, and he believed in the way that airborne was to fight a war. We wouldn't, like I say, if he went out the back door, he couldn't shoot him. Westmoreland didn't believe in that. If he was a Kong, he was a Kong. He was sort of like the Korean. The Korean outfit, they didn't play. If they went into a village and they got shot at, they were called back for reinforcement, and they would go in there and they would annihilate that building. And the Koreans said, one's in there to Kong, all of them will come. Yeah. Or they was what they call a Viet Cong sympathizer.
Yeah.
We had that. I didn't know, at the time I really didn't think about it. All I was thinking about was staying alive
Did you go on patrol?
quite a bit.
What do you do when you go on patrol?
You just go out and you would look for calm,
Go through the villages?
go through the villages, especially the villages. And see, the Vietnamese is who gives them the most is who they back.
Yeah.
If you got more to give them than the calm, then they tend to calm. They was just like that.
Yeah.
So, and,
When you went to a village, how could you tell if there's Viet Cong there or no Viet Cong there?
well, most times you could tell the people get real nervous. And most of the time when they get nervous like that, it's sort of like a person was selling dope and the police come with a search warrant.
Yeah.
You know, they be all, you can marry, they'd be a con. And most of them, they had their tongues built out of the house where they could hide it. And they would do the same thing for the Americans that they do for the con. Depending on who had the most to give them.
Yeah.
So,
When you were in Vietnam, what was the reaction of the local people to you?
well, some of the people, that was pretty nice. I know when I was in my last tour, well, after my hearing got real bad, and I was stationed in, they put the sergeant over packing up stuff for people that was going back home and stuff. And they had to bring them in, they had to ship it. Because a lot of guys were trying to ship them AK-47s back. And they was, a lot of them got by. But you had to, they would take them, you know, the big old speakers, where they would have them, and they would take the speakers apart and take the AK-47 down in pieces, and they would put just a little, one piece in this and another piece in that. And I asked the guy one day, I said, why you buying or shipping this back? Why don't you just sell it to another soldier, and I would have to go through all this trouble shipping this stuff. And the guy said, well, he said, sorry, he said, I just want, what's on the person, then after he left, the guy told me, he said, the guy that worked in that office with me, he said, you can check those speakers, I bet you some parts for AK-47. And we did, and we well within that. And we would just take them out, and send it to somewhere down there around Saigon. They would they would place those, put them back together when we found them like that. And I guess he was disappointed so when he got home and the stuff went in the speakers.
What did you do after you got your discharge?
Discharge from the Army?
Yeah.
I went to work for a contractor back home in North Carolina. I worked there, and then I decided I was going to marry my wife.
Yeah. Where'd you meet your wife?
In Guthrie, Oklahoma. They had a job corps center up there, and us GIs that come from Lawton up there on the weekend. And that's where I met my wife. She was working in the cafe there.
Now, did you take your artillery training at Fort Sill?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's all the artillery training
Yeah.
did.
Tell me about your artillery training. How was that?
It was good. It taught you, you know, how it would be in combat. You know, but like, you know, it don't rain in the army, it rain on the army. We would have a lot of training exercises in bad weather conditions.
Now, you were in the Army and you went to Guthrie?
Yeah,
Where you met your wife?
yeah.
Now, what were you doing in Guthrie?
we go to the job corps center and
Oh,
they,
Job Corps. Okay.
yeah, they have a lot of young girls that are going through the job corps.
Yeah. Okay.
And, you know, see how we Friday on the weekend.
Yeah.
And I'll take a load up with it, load up on Friday and go up there.
When did you get married?
We got married in 73.
73.
Yeah.
And
We
when did you
been
come?
married 42 years.
Yeah. When did you come to Bartlesville?
3 years. I stayed in Betsy 3 years. And she was working at Langston University.
Okay.
Yeah, she got a job at Langston. Then she got a job interview with Philip from Joey County. And we came down here and they hired her and they hired me too. And I worked for them for 29 years.
What did you do for Phillips?
I worked I was in sales promotion. And I was out in the warehouse out there, 1701.
Sales promotion?
Yeah.
You at the warehouse out on Adams?
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
in what you call logistics.
Yeah.
But that's what I've done a lot in the military.
Yeah.
Logistics.
Anything else about your Army career you want to talk about?
Well, I had a good time. You know, I've been through a lot and I was, you know, 2 tours in Vietnam and got to go to Germany. And I like Germany.
Yeah.
And, we done a lot of things while I was in the military. And traveling, going different places for training, different training.
Yeah.
Went to Alaska.
What'd you do up in Alaska?
We went through cold weather indoctrination, they call it. And I got colder at Fort Sill than I did in Alaska. In Fort Sill, Oklahoma, that's the coldest place in the world in the wintertime. Yeah, we would have to clean the tubes out and put that water in the tubes and it would freeze before it got to the other end. Oklahoma, out there on that training area, it's get cold. Yeah. But it was a good experience. It gave me knowing that I had to take the orders from my peers, and of course I was moving up then to staff sergeant, that. And you got to know how you not give orders to somebody if you can't take them yourself.
Yep.
And a lot of young men now telling me that they're going to the Navy. I said, you discipline, how's your discipline? I said, you got a problem with somebody giving you orders, there ain't no place for you. I said, it'd be a problem for you and everybody else.
I'd like to do a word association.
Uh-huh.
I'd like to do a word association. I'll give you some words and you give me your reaction.
Okay.
The first one is basic training.
Well, basic training it was a good thing. Because I got my body in shape. Because when I went into basic training, I had no idea that I was going to go through airborne training. And basic training wasn't nothing but a party to the 82nd that had been the airborne trooper. So you talking about discipline. Airborne troopers are most disciplined soldiers in the world. And I see them now, meet them now, tell them, I said, you're doing a good thing and you're in a good place, no matter what their rank are. I said,
Jump school.
Jump school was tough. You had 3 weeks, and they would have sometimes you might get recycled. So we had a guy, he was right on the borderline with the weight in the military. He had to go through what you call recycle wheat, because they were trying to get his weight off of it. And, I also wondered about him, did he make it? Because he was really trying. Yeah. He was a major. He's going out of West Point. But I really hope for him, because he was just so heavy and doing all that running. It's hard on a guy that's overweight.
Vietnam.
Vietnam, I never will forget Vietnam. Vietnam taught me that there were a lot of people over there that were starving. And I was coming out of the mess hall one day, and right by the back door, there's a thing that they throw all the food in that scraped off the plate. Sometimes they were hams, chicken that had been eaten by the soldier. They was throwing in that big old garbage can, and a woman was there digging them out. Yeah. And she was telling me, number one. I said, no, that's number 69. And she was hungry. Yeah, she was trying to feed her family. And I think of all the waste that people do around here, wasting food. You ever been to Kentucky Fried Chicken? They go out there at night and see how much chicken they have out there that they throw away. But they can't keep it. I guess that's the law, they throw it away.
Germany.
Germany was good service, but it was just by being in that, I always wanted to go to see the Berlin Wall. And but being in that missile outfit, I couldn't go. But I done a lot of going around in Germany, different places. And, we went to, that's one thing about Germany, you can go see a lot of places in the world in Germany. I got to go to Denmark. Got the one, I forget the name of that city. They got all the gondoliers, boats.
Venice.
Yeah, I went there. And I enjoyed myself over there. The short time I was there.
Now, what missile unit were you with in Germany?
It was I think it's the 2nd or the 25th.
You had the Honest John rocket.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, we would go on. We would go up to this place where they stored all the warheads, and we went full guard duty up there. And, that was a boy in 3 weeks. So, and the sheep, people that raised a lot of sheep. I learned what a shepherd was. The guy told me, he said, I said, he said, that's just all the time. He said, he said, comrade, he said, that's what they do. And I said, what? Why did he say that? He said, he's a shepherd. He said, he take care of the sheep. And John preaches now about shepherd. And a lot of times when I'm preaching down, I tell them about my experience up there on God.
First calves.
First grad was a good experience because I was just thinking I wanted to be a paratrooper, stationed close to home, but it didn't happen. About going to the cab, well, I learned, I guess, more about the Army than anybody that I know of. It was good to know that we could fight that way, by moving helicopter. And a lot of guys, they were call me when I can't come back to brag. He said, there come the leg chief. He's been out hanging out with them legs. You know, if you want airborne, they call you leg. You know. But
First Infantry.
first division.
Yeah, for Big Red 1.
It was good duty. I was just on that agent's house, and you know, you rode all the time everywhere you want to go, and you didn't go that much. They didn't move it. They didn't move guns that much, because they usually have the 8-inch, then the 175s, and that station not far from them. They usually be behind you.
Yeah.
Because they was for a longer distance.
Yeah.
And, it was pretty stationary. But
What's the range of an 8-inch? What's the range of an 8-inch?
I think it was 10 miles, I think, accuracy.
Yeah.
It depends on the elevation.
Yeah. 82nd Airborne.
82nd Airborne it was an experience too, because we was called a strike unit, and anytime we'd be on what they call strike duty, it means that your unit could be sent anywhere in the world in a few minutes. Because like when they call it, a lot of times they would call you out on a false call. We'd go there and get on the plane and get loaded, and then they call it off. But they were just seeing how long it would take your unit to get ready. And we would do that for about every 6 months ago.
What did you think when you heard that the Berlin Wall fell?
I said, well, now I get to see the wall. They got to know. He said, still, it's more dangerous than it was before.
Lyndon Johnson.
Who, then president?
Yeah.
I think he had the right idea about keeping troops over there. It's just that they got too much politics and war, you know. Because you know and I know that the United States Army, they've got the power, especially when they around the time that I was over there. They got more air support. I was sitting on the hillside and watching B-52 bomb, and they walked them bombs right down there. I mean, precision, and took that bridge out. It was something to see. And that's why I said that the United States could have easily won that war. But it got so much politics here in the States. And it was a shame that they didn't want to say when they had to leave. But then you think Russia's done the same thing. France done the same thing. My whole thinking of it is that if people don't want what you got, let them back, let them go. Don't fool with them. Because some people, they were determined to be communists. They took the bombing that they took, leaving in caves all them years, and didn't have nothing. They said that a Viet Cong would leave North Vietnam with nothing. He would pick up his weapon on the battlefield When his comrades died, he picked up his weapons to keep on going. And you can see how determined that they were, if you really look at it. So when you wind it all up, Chip would be, well, if you're a soldier, you got to take orders. But I think our politicians should have learned something from the Vietnam War. You know, before you commit, now just like Syria is a good thing, just like that. Should we have went in there ahead of the United States is, it's a great nation, got a lot of best military in the world, but should we commit troops to Syria? Look how many people done died since then. And now we got some troops in Syria. But the Russians are there. They got 2 big bases there now. And they telling us to get out. Assad, he's having a good time. And I thought about it, I said, it's the same kind of stuff went on for Vietnam. The people was...
Richard Nixon.
Who?
Richard Nixon.
Richard Nixon, he was a crook to me. And anybody do that, what he done. And I'm afraid that this is going to happen to the president we got now. Don't nobody like him, but they still vote for him. I don't understand that. Now he about to get us in a trade war. And, well, by me being a preacher, it's in the Bible that there's going to come a time when we're not going to be able to buy or sell. And I said, all this stuff is on the wall now. If this man do all them churches and stuff, we're going to be in bad shape. If you ain't got no steel and no aluminum, you can't build cars, you can't build weapons, what can you do? And he said, no, that should have been a lesson with Vietnam. If people don't want you there, leave them alone. Just leave them alone. But he wants to be, I guess, seems like he just wants to be seen. And it's just like the flag thing they got. The guys kneeling. It's not about his patriotic. He ain't patriotic. He got himself deferred 6 times and didn't even go in there. And now he's up there sending people in the war. It's something to think about as a country. I'd like to sit, think about all of these things. And I know you watching the same stuff I'm watching on TV. It's terrible. He said this morning, let Russia and the G8 talk. They kicked Russia out of there because the mess they were doing. Why you allow them back in there? And he don't put no pressure on Russia. I believe Russia got something on him. Sir, I really believe it. And I believe it's going to come out in that man's investigation. You're right. It's sad. And he's the leader of the country.
Ho Chi Minh. Ho Chi Minh.
Ho Chi Minh, he was just somebody that I guess they would call him a martyr. He took over the South. He took over the South. but they pay the price. A lot of people dying. If people are still suffering from the war, and the United States only gonna give them so much, and they got minefields over there that people don't even know about, and young kids are walking through that getting blown up now. But people don't think about that.
How do you want to be remembered?
When I took the oath, I committed myself willingly to give my life for this country. And I went on the battlefield twice, and I done my duty as a soldier. I like to be remembered that way. I got 2 Bronze Stars, one with Oak the Cup and the other one for victory, for valor, I guess that's what they call it.
What'd you get the one for valor? What'd you do?
We was in the firefight that night when we got over there.
Yeah.
But the medal, those 2 medals won't even get me a cup of coffee at Starbucks.
Yeah.
But it's just that they thought, I guess my superiors thought enough for me to give me those awards. It's nothing to brag about.
Well, sir, this is an excellent interview.
I hope that our country can get their things in order.
Yes.
Because especially when you come talking about sending men into combat.
Yeah.
They
Well, I want to
need
thank you for your service and thank you for the interview.
You're welcome.
And again, this is June 9th, 2018. My name is Joe Todd. This has been an interview with Walter Pettiford in Bartlesville, Oklahoma. Thank you.
Thank you.